Hello everybody, and the music is very loud. Oh, welcome back to Chess of Blades. I just had a wild ride with the letter, and I just feel so tired. I put so much energy into being scared and being nervous that I'm just like, ugh, I can sleep for days now. But I'm not going to, because we gotta record, you know? We gotta do the thing. My armpit's itchy. So where did we leave off? Man, I recorded this back in May. Did we leave off with... You know what? I'm gonna go look at the last episode on YouTube. I'm gonna go look where we left off. Hold on a second. Alright, so we left off here. Don't know what was going on, but I'm sure we'll realize what's been happening when we start reading. The bright morning turns to a warm afternoon as we explore the market, purchasing no small amount of food and curious trinkets. Before I know it, I'm carrying around a bag made of exotic leather with an assortment of colognes, books, and fine souvenirs tucked inside. Of course, I wind up convincing Arden to carry the bag. Thanks, husband. He needs to put the muscle he's built on from all that... He needs to put the muscle he's built on from all that training to good use, after all. He seems exhilarated that we're spending time together like this, like we used to. But the only reason I'm enduring his company is so I don't make myself an easy target. I will admit, it does bring back memories of happier times, but those times are long gone. And now I'm caught up in some political game that's far more important than drowning myself in nostalgia.
Look, Riv! A snake charmer! Damn! Wish I had that kind of skill.
The kind of skill not to get bit by a poisonous snake? Yeah, me too. Arden's excited voice beside me directs my attention to a man seated on a carpet nearby, surrounded by a thick circle of murmuring admirers.
Let's go watch him. I bet your legs are getting sore from all this walking anyway.
Thanks, husband.
Excuse me. Just because I'm not a royal guardsman doesn't mean I'm out of shape.
Oh, you're a shape. You're a shape. Just not the good shape. We're all a shape. I'm a shape. I'm a round shape. Despite my protest, I let Arden tug me over to I almost said small snake charmer. I let Arden tug me over to the snake charmer as we push our way into the audience to get a better view. The sound of the strange, flute-like instrument he's playing seems to make the serpent before him sway and shift, its leathery body rising to somewhat disconcerting height. I watch for a little while, but boredom soon overcomes me as I turn to search for Arden and drag him off.
Arden?
It seems you're still a little careless about leaving your back exposed.
Man. There was a spider on my wall. Don't you come near my sugar cookie, you— Oh my god, he's on my desk. Alright, guys. So there was a small cut. As you heard, I was dealing with a spider. But you'll be happy to know there's going to be a separate episode like there was in Seduce Me of me dealing with the spider, so... You all have fun with that. Good god. Where were we? Someone suddenly presses up against me from behind, and a low chuckle echoes my ear. Is that a hot dog? Are you just happy to see me? A familiar, sensual voice. I'm out of breath. It's so hot in here. The rough grasp of a large hand on my shoulder. This is... Husband?
What the hell are you doing here? Stalking more victims?
I had to throw my blanket off me when the spider was attacking me, and now my cat has taken it for himself, God damn it.
Oh, that's rather cold, isn't it? I've been keeping an eye on you. Let's just say that much.
Those words alone are more than a little unnerving. Who is this man?
If you want a few more details, you'll have to leave your friend behind for a few moments. But the choice is yours, little kitten.
I love that nickname. Fuck me, daddy. Oh, I'm gonna call him daddy from now on. After whispering those warm words against my ear, he steps back, and I quickly turn to see him beckoning me with a curled finger. I'm sure it's follow him. Yeah, follow Franz. Yes, let's go. My dog's chewing on a bone. I'm sorry if you hear that in the background, by the way. As much as I loathe the idea of scamping after Franz like the lost kitten he seems to think of me, I want some answers from him. Silently apologizing to Arden in my head. That's gonna help. I weave through the crowd and follow the tall figure who waits for me to catch up before continuing on.
Good. I'm glad you're being sensible. Besides, you don't really enjoy that boring guards company, do you?
No, you're way more.
You know about Arden too? He must be building quite an unflattering reputation for himself.
The corners of Franz's lips curl slyly upwards. His thumb looked hooked casually into his pocket as we strolled towards a less populated part of the festival.
His reputation is not as poor as you might think. He did get into the Royal Guard, an elite unit, through remarkably hard work, and attracted quite a bit of attention.
I watch his movements from the corner of my eye as he speaks, trying to discern anything he might reveal information about where he's from or his occupation. Certified stalker here to help. He's certainly tall and well built enough to be a fighter of some kind, but his elegant speech and smooth movements lead me to believe he's related to a noble politic somehow.
Regardless,
Oh, I ran out of
it
breath.
seems like you've been heeding my warning. I tried your bedroom door last night just to make sure that
You are creeping me out, boy.
What? I should report you to the guards, you know. Next thing, you'll be smashing through the balcony doors.
Only to rescue you.
Come now. Do you really want to act so callously against one of the few people who can keep you safe? I promise, I have your best interests at heart.
I shoot him a disgruntled look as we continue to halt behind the last festival stall on the street, where the chattering of the bustling crowd sounds distant.
You've been spouting all this nonsense and acting like some grand benefactor, but I don't have any reason to believe a word of what you say. Isn't it a little ironic that the most disturbing encounter I've had so far has been with you? No one's pulled a knife on me or given me any reason to mistrust them. Except you.
My accusation seems to bounce off Franz, who folds his arm passively over his chest and watches me with a tilted head. A hint of a smirk stays on his face, which can surely only mean bad things.
I guess it'd be rather hypocritical for me to tell you to be on your guard around others, but not give you a reason to trust me, A little kitten learns fast.
I want to know where that nickname just came from, though.
Can you cease and desist with this kitten nonsense? It might work on some shy maiden, but I assure you I'm nothing of the
You
sort.
want to bet, Rivian?
Really? I could have sworn I felt your heart pounding like a little war drum when I had you pinned in my arms last night.
Wow. Wow.
However, returning to the subject at hand, there are a number of reasons I could give as to why I want to help you, but I doubt you believe any of them at this point. But if you want proof as to the fact that this celebration and its guests are more than they seem, I believe the occurrence I spoke of earlier will happen no later than tonight.
How do you know?
The occurrence? Could you be any more vague?
Franz shrugs lightly, running a hand through his hair.
You've played chess before, haven't you? You see the opponent's pieces moving, but a skilled player often masks what they're planning. The best you can do is stay alert.
I keep clicking that button, I'm so sorry. The keen light in his eyes suggests that he definitely knows more than he's letting on. Damn it, what I wouldn't give to be a cold, calculating bastard like you right now, Father. I'd see through him in a second.
Then I'll reserve judgment until I see for myself what's afoot. Afterwards, I'll decide if you're a delusional pervert or just an exceptionally well-informed one.
I like the first one.
As expected of Lord Verison's son. I trust we'll encounter each other tonight, then.
He steps closer, leaning to press a finger under my chin and gaze down. Could you be any more openly gay? Gaze down at me with those uncomfortably discerning eyes.
Until then, stay on your toes. The most painful attacks come from the most unexpected of places.
Like up the ass. Through the back door. I glare at Franz silently in reply, which only serves to elect a low laugh from him as he steps past me.
Ah, those eyes send sweet shivers down my spine. Well, good afternoon, my little lord.
Let me add, could you be any more openly gay and also any more openly attracted to Rivian? leave some to the imagination. I've heard at least 10 innuendos so far. He disappears around the edge of the stall, presumably returning to the street, and I sigh quietly to myself as his footsteps fade. I don't know why, but I feel like I But I feel like I wasn't the victor in that conversation, even though I wasn't even aware we were in a contest. You only know until you realize you lost. Regardless of his intentions, I don't think I'll ever get used to that man's demeanor. It's like dealing with a male escort or something. Wait. Yes. Yes, it is. Sulking a little to myself, I head back to the street, returning in the direction Franz and I had come from. When I return to the Snake Charmer's circle of admirers, I catch Arden wandering around, searching for me. I tell him I went off to relieve myself in some bushes. Everything on my desktop, like all my icons, just disappeared and came back. What the fuck? He gives me a somewhat dubious look at my excuse, but doesn't question it. Well, it's none of his business anyway. It's doing it again! Why are all my icons disappearing? I have this game in windowed mode, and I can see my icons, and they're just like, boop, gone, boop, back. He'd probably pop a vein if I told him too much about Franz. After bantering a bit, we decided to return to our rooms for a rest before the dinner and dance take place in the evening. We start strolling through the stalls in the opposite direction, toward the direction of the castle. We buy a few more small things on the way, and I manage to get my hands on a rather nice emerald-studded brooch for my mother. By the time we arrive back at the castle entrance, it's already turning into late afternoon, the sun's golden shape gradually descending into the west. I part ways with Arden, denying his request for me to show him my room, and hurry back to the second floor. Oof. Dumping my bag of miscellaneous purchases on the top of my clothes trunk, I pull my boots off and throw myself onto a luxurious bed with a soft groan. Despite how tired I am from all that walking around, a strange tension won't leave my body. I won't go as far as to say it's a feeling of foreboding, but it's as if some sixth sense I have is tingling, rather ominously.
It's all that bastard Franz's fault, making me all paranoid.
Wallowing languidly, I've never heard that word before. In my self-pity, I sprawl out over the covers, nestling against my pillow and letting out a deep sigh. Sure, it doesn't matter if I fall asleep, since Silas will probably come wake me up again. It's pretty impressive that he manages to remember a single guest amongst the hundreds who must be here. The skill of a royal butler, I suppose. I close my eyes and try to catch a little rest. However, I can't manage to slip into more than a light doze, tossing and turning from side to side. Either from lingering excitement or apprehension, I'm too restless to fall into a deep sleep. There's been too much stimulation today for an introvert like me, damn it. Same, though. I probably haven't talked to so many different people in years. Oh, I can relate.
It's no use.
Opening my eyes, I grudgingly pull myself up into a sitting position, staring through the balcony doors into the evening sky. Part of me wants to go out and lean on the balustrade, but I rather avoid a repeat of last night. No. No. Okay, he gasps like somebody to kill him was at the door, but would they really knock? As I sit on my bed, contemplating what to do, a knock suddenly comes at my door. I feel like this is my first time seeing his full outfit. He's got like 2 vests on. What? I slide off onto the floor and stride over to open it, but hesitate. It's probably just Silas, but what if it's someone who...
Have some balls, man. God's sake.
Boy. Smoothing myself quietly, I pull the door open, although I take little steps back just to be safe. Hello? Hi. It's nice. Hello? Before me stands a young man, probably a couple years my junior. I definitely don't recognize him. Why is he just staring at me like I just morphed into a monster?
Sorry, sir.
What's up, boy?
I got the wrong room.
Boy.
Oh, well, don't worry about it. Looking for someone in particular?
Just Miss Celeste's.
Honey, it's okay, you don't have to stutter. His stuttering, while perhaps cute at first, is quickly getting on my nerves.
Celeste, you say? I think I may have met her earlier. I didn't know she was in the same hall as me.
I thought she was. But maybe not. I'll go find her. Sorry again.
Okay,
Right.
child. Right. Alright then. I watch as he scampers off down the corridor, hastily examining all the room numbers. What an odd boy. He's either very shy or completely out of sorts for some reason. Wonder how he knows Celeste. Fuck, who's Celeste again? I completely forgot. I'll have to ask her the next time I run into her. Was it that nice lady in all pink? Well, seeing as there's not much else for me to do, I might as well take a little stroll around the castle before I head downstairs. I stuff my hands in my pockets and mosey around the hallway corner, making sure there's not an Arden lurking in the waits. The thing we're scared of the most is running into Arden. It seems to be clear, so I wander down the next hall with a relieved exhale. Make my way down toward the general direction of the main hall, but with an occasional detour to admire tapestries and small alcoves decorated with paintings and plush chairs. There are probably a lot of interesting nooks and crannies in this place. After all, the king is known for his love of collecting things, including, apparently, collecting a bunch of foreigners who hate virus and blood. Yeah, those are his knickknacks. Is that the person over there or a statue? Either way, they look very intent in whatever they read.
Oh, no.
Let me guess. It's Mr. Long-haired bitch. As quietly as possible, I start to back away, praying not to be noticed. Fuck you, squeaky floor. Shit. Damn these squeaky floorboards. Hello? Okay. I freeze in place as a tall figure turns toward me, glasses flashing in the lights.
Is that the little lint picker looking to creep up on me again?
It's not my fault you have lint on your clothes. Talk about holding a grudge. Deciding it's probably best to be polite rather than doing too much to get on his bad side, I clear my throat.
Inquisitor, I was just heading down to the main hall.
Liane is, right? I think it was called that. No, it's not. Ah, shit, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I completely forgot. I completely forgot how to pronounce his name. And all the episodes I've done in between. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask my friend. I'm gonna have to ask Luca because I don't know how to pronounce his name again. Eyes glint behind his glasses as he closes the book in his hand. I fucked up now. As he closes the book in his hand and saunters towards me. Please don't saunter.
I could have sworn there's a much simpler way to get to the main hall than through this back passage.
I was exploring.
Well, I was exploring a little.
There you go.
It's a shame to have all this fine art and no one to view it.
The fuck is your problem? After a scornful laugh, he taps a finger on the unmarked cover of his book, watching me suspiciously. I brace myself for what's undoubtedly an accusation, tensing slightly.
I suppose I owe you an apology.
What?
What?
What? I tap the side of my head, wondering if my hearing's gone bad. What's his face lets out a humph in response, his eyes narrowing.
I was, perhaps, excessively rude earlier. There was an unexpected occurrence this morning that had put me in something of a foul mood.
I see. It seems bizarre. I didn't click a button there. That just popped up by itself. Seems bizarre for him to be actually remorseful. He's trying to make fun of me. I narrow my eyes at him slightly, trying to judge his intentions. Accept his apology because we're such a good boy. Unexpected or not, I doubt whether that's really justifies his behavior, but it does appear to be earnest about his apology, even if reluctantly so.
Well, let it not be said I am an ungracious man. I was probably a little rude back then too, though not as rude as you were, certainly.
Do not push your luck, Verison. Let us put the matter to rest and move on.
His fingers twitch against his book. Not wanting to be hit or otherwise assaulted with the heavy-looking tome, I concede with a nod on my head.
Are you heading down as well? Are Grand Inquisitors free to mingle and dance with us common folk?
That would be my...
While my presence here is as a guest of His Majesty, I do not consider myself to ever be off duty. After all, It is not as if treasonous men stop being treasonous during pleasant gatherings. If anything, the risk is higher.
Despite his haughty tone, it's hard to deny that he really does take his job seriously. I suppose it's one of those positions that doesn't allow much time for rest. What's-his-face turns and motions for me to follow. I'll learn his name in the next episode, I promise. Motions me to follow him down the corridor, setting off a brisk pace in the direction of the main hall. I catch up to his side and glance at his severe-looking profile, his eyes constantly scrutinizing the world around him from behind those glasses.
If you follow in your father's footsteps and wind up in His Highness's ring of advisors, it is best we learn to tolerate each other.
You say that like, just evilly. He paused for a moment, then, his voice suddenly growing a little more hesitant.
There are many in his circle who I find to be of questionable nature. But nonetheless, it is not my duty to speak against his decisions.
I hope you didn't consider father to be of questionable nature.
His eyes flick down towards me sharply. I meet his gaze as best I can, even though his hawkish stare is quite difficult to be subject of.
He is a man possessed of exceptional perceptiveness. Enough so to rival my own. That is all I shall say.
I'll make sure to tell him. I'm sure he'd appreciate a compliment from a man like you.
Do I sense sarcasm in your voice? Need I remind you of our truce?
We had a truce? God, the first episode was so long ago. I pursed my lips doubtfully. Truce or not, I doubt he'll be inclined to hold back from insulting me if I slip up somewhere. The man is vicious. We emerge at the balcony of the main hall, where it seems guests are starting to gather in their formal attire. I noticed the girl from earlier, Celeste was it, standing next to an older, slightly rotund man chatting happily. Her father, I wonder. Alright, I'm gonna end this episode here, because we're doing a thing. Because it's a scene change, and it seems like a good time to end it. So, I'll see you guys in the next episode. And, yeah. That was fun. It was great. It's really yellow in here, so it's hurting my eyes. I'm gonna go. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.